Hi, this is Olaf. We are 3 weeks away only from the World Championships in St. George. I just got through the toughest week yet, and I'm still on track to finish hopefully on the podium at one of the Ironman World Championships this year. So this is episode 11 of my journey to the Ironman World Championships in Kona and St. George 2022, and today I'm gonna walk you through my training of the last week, almost 30 hours, and let you know how that went. So first of all, I just finished my long run on Sunday. So basically I've done 29 hours so far, and still a recovery swim a bit later in the day of just 30 minutes open water. That's to follow. So far all good. So first thing, again, in terms of our my top priorities. So I haven't fallen off the bike great. I've done my easy stuff, sort of as easy as I could, great. I haven't been sick, great. And now about injury. So I have a little bit of a niggle that has worsened. I mentioned that in my last video. It's sort of on my left shin, but it's not really clear sort of what it is and where it's really located. But I've definitely been feeling it a bit, and after my long run last Sunday, which was 28k, 2 hours 30, and especially lots of steep hills, so that was quite tough on the legs on the way up and down, tendons and all. So I definitely felt it a bit afterwards, and it definitely gotten worse. So with the injuries, I would say there are different levels of injuries. It typically starts alright. Initially you don't feel anything. Then sort of the injuries which are still, or niggles I would say, which are manageable, are either the ones where it doesn't really get worse, where you might feel it in the morning when you get up or at the beginning of the session, but then it sort of goes away, or even sometimes when you do still feel it the entire session, but it's it's not really preventing you from pushing. When it sort of goes into the red area, to me at least, in my experience, it's really when, number one, you start to feel things and it's starting to bother you in other activities. So for example, when you have something that's bothering you on the run, or which has hurt you on the run, then you start to feel it also on the bike, when you start to feel it a lot also when you're not exercising, and worst of all, when it really starts to prevent you from doing the set that you're wanting to do, when you're really sort of starting to push against the pain. That's really when it's starting to get bad. And especially, once you get to the race, if you're starting sort of the run or whatever it is that you're feeling, and you already sort of have to fight against the pain, and I had that in the past with Achilles tendon problems, etc., then you're just not able to put the effort and the performance in. So definitely had a little bit of a worry there. But I did my Tuesday run a little bit easier on the treadmill. I did but I still could feel it a bit afterwards. But on Friday I did hard 3 times 4Ks, and it was sort of fine after that. But I did, and then I saw the physio again, and we started to think, is it maybe a stress fracture? So really worried. But I've been able to go through my run today. Felt a little bit at the beginning, but after 30 minutes, 45 minutes was basically gone. So far still on the green yellow side. Definitely not going into the red area, and so far on that side also good. But let's have today maybe a quick look at what a full week is. Obviously, this is sort of the maximum week I've done so far. But let's quickly go through a full week of training and how that actually went. So on Monday, as I already mentioned before, so I started off with with the kicker session, 2 hours 10 with 5 times 10 minutes at 300 watts. I didn't feel so great at the beginning when I was waking up, but definitely the session went well. Heart rate was under control, felt stronger than the week before. Heart rate was lower and was able to do 5 times 10 minutes instead of 4 the week before. So so that was good, was not destroyed. And then just in the afternoon did a 1 hour 30 basically swim with 10 times 400 pull paddles band. And a couple of sprints at the end. So, not a recovery swim, but definitely sort of a steady swim in the afternoon. Then on Tuesday, I did my treadmill run. That was 1 hour 15, where we changed it a little bit. So it was 2 minutes, so 6 times, 6 sets with 2 minutes at 1%, 2 minutes at 2 minutes at 1% at 12 kmh. And 2 minutes at 2% at 14 kilometers per hour, or like 420, and then 2 minutes at 3% at 4 minutes pace, and 2 minutes really easy at 0. So that's where I still felt a little bit sore in my leg afterwards, but again during the set I didn't really feel it, so was still fine. Then on after that, so it was actually pretty busy day, but after that I went to I didn't go to the gym, I did at home some core and strength for an hour, my typical core and strength test, which I put in another video, and I did a recovery swim of 30 minutes also, that was open water I believe, with some drills and easy swim. Then so except the run in the morning, the rest was pretty easy stuff. Then on Wednesday I did a 5-hour bike with 2.4k elevation, just over Ironman distance, and it was 6 times 30 minutes at sort of 225 to 240 watts included, sort of race pace efforts. Heart rate at the beginning was the first 30 minutes were at 135 heart rate average, but by the end, because it got hotter, more humid, and I was more tired, was up to sort of 149 150 heart rate. So quite tough session, but again not totally destroyed. I mean, I did worse in the past. And then 2.8k 1 hour swim in the afternoon, mainly with some 50s inside, and basically I tried to have a nap after the tough one, and then just do the swim relatively early so that I have the late afternoon and evening I can just wind down before going to bed. And plus I had then on Thursday, so following day, so that was swim, bike, run and core day, so I had all 4 activities in a single day, but everything basically quite easy except the swim. So I had 2 hours basically easy bike, that was 220 watts and a 108 heart rate, so really low heart rate, 2 hours bike. Then a 30-minute run, easy again, 124 heart rate average, and 422 pace on the treadmill. Then so that was 2.5 hours. Then basically not too long after that, I went to the gym and did the core and strength activity. So all that was done in the morning, and then early afternoon I did the swim, which was with 4 sets of 2 times 50 sort of tempo, then 1 200 tempo, and 400 easy. So I did 1 set swim, 1 set with paddles and pull, one set swim, one set paddles and pull. So yeah, it was 50-meter pool, which makes it a little bit harder. It was yeah, all of them I was able to do sort of in 255, between 250 and 255, depending whether it was swim or pull paddles. So in the 50-meter pool, quite happy, and was able to push those quite hard. And then on Friday, yeah, morning set was my tough run. So 3 times 4K, same as the week before. Went a little bit faster. So the first one was the same, 406 pace exactly. The second one was 350 pace instead of 352. And the last one was 334 pace. So really went for it instead of 338 the week before. So here again, you know, in hindsight, you know, should I have pushed that hard the last one? Probably not. You know, that's typically the one where again you're sort of you can, you know, you can injure yourself or you can get close to injury. But yeah, it felt good. I went for it. Was still a little bit worried, you know, about my shin problem, but didn't feel it all in the session. Definitely felt it afterwards. That's also why, you know, with the physio we were a bit worried, you know, could it be a stress fracture? But yeah, I mean, in any case, I can't get an MRI done here short term, unfortunately. And as long as I can manage it, you know, I mean, I've had lots of problems which sort of have lingered on a bit. So yeah, I'm really optimistic now, especially just after the long run. So but yeah, so again, Friday morning had this run session, then Friday afternoon had a long swim. Unfortunately, I went to the pool, but you know, Friday, Easter weekend, pools closed. So I did open water swim alone here with my buoy. Went to the next beach up the coast. So in all, it was just under 4K, 3.7K in 1 hour 20. So real easy. I had paddles. You know, was happy not to bump into any sharks or whatever. Although, you know, they're pretty uncommon here, but for some reason Instagram has shown me pictures of sharks recently. So swimming alone, that is never very reassuring. But that was really a recovery swim after the tough run, which I also like. You know, it's good to use the swims to recover from the hard run sessions. And then yesterday I did 6 hours bike. That was again the session where the first hour and a half was with quite hard intervals. So 5 times 1 minute with 4-minute rest and 5 times 2 minutes. All right, just finishing 6 hours on the trainer. 18 minutes to go. Quite fed up, to be honest. First hour and a half, order to have some fun, was make it harder. Was 1 minute, 1 minute, VO2 max, 5 times 2 minutes. Good news was a bit better than last week. So did the 1 minute, 415 watts or so, 110 instead of 400. And especially the 2 minutes were 375 instead of 350. So quite pleased with that. Watching all the Ironman Kona shows, 89, yeah, just watched 93, where Mark won again. But yeah, as I mentioned, the last hour, a bit painful. Caffeine definitely helps bringing it over the line. So yeah, 60 minutes to go. Let's wrap it up. Yeah, quite happy with that. And then we're wondering a bit, okay, with my shin or with you know, this little pain that I'm feeling, should I wait one more day before running? Should I, you know, do part of it on the treadmill? Should I try to find a softer surface than running on the road, the concrete? But in the end, yesterday, basically, I didn't almost feel it at all. So yeah, I decided in the end to just go for it outside. and again took it really easy. Did 5:12 pace. Was really rolling hills, 31.5 kilometers, and so I felt it, as I mentioned before, felt a little bit the last first 30 minutes, and then it was basically gone, or just felt it very, very slightly. So far all good. To me that is basically pretty green everywhere. Happy to have completed this week. Now rest of the day recovery, one little swim to finish off, and hope this was useful for you to see what I've been doing in one really big week. Gives me a lot of confidence definitely for the last 3 weeks, and hopefully things stay stable like this. And Alright, thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the journey. Subscribe, like, ask me questions, let me know what else you want to hear about.